If you're like me, you don't know what you're making for dinner tonight. We have a solution, though. How about a simple Mediterranean baked chicken dish packed with flavor, easy to make, sure to be a family favorite. Here to show us how to make it, because it's Tuesday, Chef Bill Collins, your personal chef, cookbook author, chefbill.com, and a maker of Mediterranean chicken.
Yes, absolutely. The season's here. It's time to start eating a little lighter.
Yes.
You know, we've had a bit of a winter where we've been just packing on the pounds. I can speak for myself on this. And so, so it's time to eat well and eat healthier. So, and as always, all the great food today is from our friends at Whole Foods in Hadley. And we're going to throw together something Mediterranean, something that's very budget conscious, very easy to make, and especially come home from work, it's going to be fast and easy.
I also see, is this the chicken thighs that we're going with?
We're going with thighs today. The recipe calls for either a whole chicken cut up or thighs. I like thighs for a number of reasons. I just talked about being healthy. It is a little less on the healthy side, a little bit fattier, but they're very resilient. You know, chicken breasts, much healthier, but easy to overcook them. And so this way, you go with the thighs. They'd be very flavorful.
And yeah, you're right. They pack a little bit more flavor, I think, than the chicken breast.
They definitely do. And so the first thing you do, and actually you can do this before you head out to work, is you want to do a little marinade.
Okay.
And usually when you think of marinade, there's all kinds of sauce and a lot of sauce with it. This is actually not a whole lot. This has a total of 1/4 cup of liquid, some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, and dried oregano.
That's it.
That's it. And so in the recipe where it says, you know, add the marinade to it when you put it all together, there might be a little bit, might not be much at all, but that's the marinade. But it's very flavorful.
How long do you want to marinate for?
Minimum of a couple hours. You don't want to go 24 hours because what's going to happen is the acid from the vinegar can really start to break down the chicken.
Oh,
so whether not just vinegar but any kind of acid and lemons. So you know, overnight is fine too.
Okay. Now
or the full work day.
Once we've marinated, what's next?
Well, when you come back in, the rest is easy. Okay. I've got some vegetables here. I'm just going to throw on some peppers. Just throw them on around here. I've just cut up some onion. Just kind of put it in wedges. But the two things to come in next. I've got here some tomatoes. Okay. I went with canned tomatoes, that's the season. I like to go with whole tomatoes with a dish like this. And what I like to do is just kind of give them a squeeze. It's not to say that diced tomatoes won't work, but I think these just have a bit of a nicer look.
Well, you know what I like about this too? You're eating big bites in this dish.
That's it.
So you want to make sure that it's consistent all the way through.
That's exactly it. And then put the juice from that on.
Okay.
But here's where the flavor is really going to come from. And that's the Kalamata olives.
Okay.
And so I've already got some smashed up there. I like to break these up for a couple of reasons. You can either slice them or even just press them down.
Really?
One, I like the look. It's more of a rustic look, but also every now and then, even though they say they're pitted, you might find a pit in there.
Ooh, and that's the booby prize that you do not want to find.
No, because the next step after that is hello dentist. So, because
Exactly.
your mouth just isn't expecting for that, and it happens almost every time. So I've got the olives here.
So many different kinds of olives out there. Kalamata, though, those are your go-to?
These are my go-to, and now that I put them on the raw chicken, I meant to actually have you taste one because we're going to skip that.
That ship is sailed.
That ship is sunk, absolutely. So, but here's why. I like Kalamatas. They're more flavorful. I never, ever, and let me say once more, I never get the canned olives because they just don't have a flavor. They have a nice look to them, and if I have to use them, I kind of saute them and just give them a little wrinkled look. But you go with the flavorful olive, and the Kalamatas are my favorite go-to olive. You're always going to find those in my fridge.
And then we're going to pop this in the oven for a little bit?
Yeah, 350 and baste it every 10, 12 minutes. You don't have to do it straight away as it gets up to temperature. What's going to happen is it's going to the juices are going to rise up. There's not a whole lot there now, but as it cooks, you're going to have enough to baste. Also, the size of the dish. In this case, a 9x13 pan. I like it because there's enough room. It's not all crowded in there where you have to try to fight with the spoon to get into the liquid there.
That's true. Give yourself some breathing room.
Yeah, and make it a little easy on yourself and on the chicken. So kind of spread it around a little bit, pop it in the oven, and it's just going to be great. Less than an hour. And these are bone-in thighs. You can go with boneless thighs. They'll obviously cook quicker. I prefer the bone-in because it's going to give more flavor because it's cooking longer.
Okay, well, Chef Bill, we'll let you pop this into the oven and we'll finish it up at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
Good. Pleasure to have you here. And still ahead, we're back with personal chef Bill Collins, chefbill.com. We're finishing up our Mediterranean chicken. A little TV magic took place here.
Yes, it did, because it's about 50 minutes in the oven, and we had about 20 minutes since last time, so it wasn't a fast oven. So I've got this all ready to go.
Now, how do we know if it's done? Do you cut into the largest piece of chicken?
You can do that. I actually took a handy-dandy thermometer.
Okay.
And because with the bone in, you can't always tell for sure.
That's true.
And you want to make sure. So I did about 170 degrees that told me it was done.
So that's what we're looking for when it comes to our chicken.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, because you don't want sushi chicken or medium rare.
No,
So,
that's right. This is one of the only meats left that you still need to cook all the way through.
absolutely, and that's also a great thing about going with chicken thighs. The dark meat is that it's a little bit fattier, but it's more resilient. So if you do overcook it, because you want to cook it all the way through, it won't dry out.
And the nice part about a dish like this is it's baking in its own juices, so there's very little chance of it drying out.
Exactly, and that's also technically a casserole. A lot of people think of a casserole as all kinds of heavy things in it.
Yeah.
It's actually a one-dish thing, and actually, technically, casserole is the name of the dish it cooks in.
Really?
But, yep, but it's a one-pot thing, and that's why this is a casserole. Now, another thing also that I did was on half of these, as you can see, a little different color, I took the skin off of half of these, so that makes it a little bit healthier, because we're basting it regularly, you don't have a crispy skin.
Oh, that's true.
So really what I have here, I also, as a side, to keep things healthier, I did a little quinoa on the side here with some caramelized onions and scallions. And I've got the chicken right here and ready to go. It's just, you've got the Kalamata olives, I think, which really give it the flavor.
It gives it that smell, too. You can smell it from across the studio.
Absolutely. And another great thing about this is you also have a really nice hearty sauce because it's cooking for longer with the bone in there. So it's really not just a light tomato sauce, but it's got a nice balance to it. So that's why this meal, it's healthy, it's great price. The whole meal, this is all less than $10.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That's impressive.
So it's just a simple, great way to go. It's fast. Throw it in the oven when you get home from work, and you're good to go.
And you know what else is nice? A lot of people, they aren't on that quinoa bandwagon yet, but as you were saying, you have a rich, great sauce, and once that gets mixed in with the quinoa, it's going to taste great anyways.
Exactly, because quinoa does have a distinctive flavor and a good one, but a lot of people are used to something neutral like pasta or a rice. So this is healthier. I've got some other things in there with the sauce, and it just gives you a nice balance to the meal.
But I mean, sky's the limit with this. We're going Mediterranean style. I mean, maybe we could do some potatoes or something like that.
Oh,
but really,
absolutely. Oh, exactly. You keep it light and simple, especially as bathing suit season is apparently coming. So, and I'm very worried about that.
I'm a little worried about fitting into my one piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think lastly we have this quinoa. It's not just quinoa. There's some onions and
I had some caramelized onions lying around.
There you
so
go.
I popped in the caramelized onions. I've got some scallions. So even if you just cooked it up, boiled it up, and then put it on the side, that's great. This gives it, again, just a little more flavor, so you got a few more flavors going on around there. The caramelized onions add a little bit of sweetness to it, and it's a nice balanced meal.
Chef Bill, Tuesday, always a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for stopping.